Day 22, October 2024, 1 hour 50 minutes. We will have the first part of the conversation, considering the struggle we're living. The second one that talk about a new series, probably about Europe, considering the work made by the director Michael Hurst, which was amazing. It's something outstanding, and I have ideas I would like to present, and try to push something, keeping the pattern extraordinary and outstanding. The last thing we had was the collinearity between different things concurrent in the element that took the integrity of all things, but not the total integrity. From this point, you do not respect your own history. This is cultural destruction, and it's one of the objects that the International Criminal Court with a regressive model we use it. 15 billion case inside 41 trillion, considering the financial penalties plus all other acts are cost regressed from institution until human resource. We are researching the money. The money segmented can be in two moments as the same thing, the debit and credit, like Brazil and United States. They are the same thing in different moments on present time. They both as debit and credit, which is the behavior of your money qualified by the obligations you have or the rights and expectations you hold. It's legal or not legal. If it's not legal, it's out of purpose, but this case is something illegal with legitimacy under attack, aggression, being stalked. As creditor, interest and expectation, we request to have this as another fraudulent way to default and reduce having the misconcept about the legitimacy of the credit, interest and expectations. Inside this segment, you have kind of arrays or sampling elements that are the institutions, public or corporate, that will use the resource by a decision made by a human resource. The problem is if the human resource had a decision corrupted but not totally under corrosion, it will be viewed by the institution until you unveil the criminal purpose. After have this, we're gonna have they used to complain, and the last things we had is kind of something like this. We could present the parallel functionality and having the purpose of this financial research, that is identify the origin, the interface, storage, destination, transfer and beneficiaries. We could have that some the situation as the tie set between victims that indeed are suffering losses to be placed as interfaces because they are attached to the criminal system and get in touch with the Ponzi scheme. Nowadays we are having the database Sigma and the request to ILO, the International Labour Organization, International Criminal Court, OS, have the research variances about exploitation, drugs, the UNODC also in the same way, at the Carnival, in Rio de Janeiro, entire Brazil, exploitation of minor, infant minor, less than 12 years old, do a blowjob by 50 cents of a dollar at the Rio de Janeiro streets, or something like this. It's the duty of the court. Brazil never had a word, and of course that the no lack of commitment in accomplishing and uphold the law and the purpose of an institution or constitution, but the situation kind of that you can deny the interest and have the continuity of this, especially sustaining the offenders until we have something qualified and quantified from 0 up to 41 trillions. Your movement was like this, it's codified by segment with box or intervals on it. Your regular area positive one, the corruption inside, considering domain and staff as criminal association through the institutional system or using at the institutional system. And from here, which is the corruption of the regular area, indeed is a corrosion or the loss of integrity. The broken window leads to OC represented and bosses having the domain of this that are unveiled. You have no excuse for criminal association. You require the conviction of for by criminal association, as you can observe, and the criminal association will raise, plan, structure all other crimes. You have that will be in touch with crimes you retreat. Now you have the use about this TV series. The series Vikings, I believe that was amazing. It's a great work, tells a lot of things, and then we will suggest you something if you consider. The first thing is the royalties. If the thing got 100% okay, 50-50 royalties, as ideas we are having, right? 50-50 royalties. Of course, that I'm not gonna try to kill you to get everything, and believe that you wouldn't try or shouldn't try to kill me to have everything, because it will be something wrong. If we had, for instance, in a situation like this, probably in the near future, I will, if I survive, I will tell you that you can receive your 50% as half of the share if you perpetrate a lot of crimes to, hold this. It's kind of the royalty based on crimes, or the royalty based at the creation and innovation, or even the TV series that has as purpose be outstanding and extraordinary. We will have that the series Vikings come from the very beginning of the Middle Age, kind of high Middle Age, and the feudalism, the start when the series ends. And we will check that the most important thing at this moment was that the Vikings could set routes and some stations at the cities that are at the formation, which allows to get two things: the trade activity, right? And we are talking the series as 100 2000. When it's the last episode of the series, it's about this, if I'm not wrong. But we had the trade. The trade was possible because you could create routes, at least two, one on Europe, which was the East Europe and West Europe, which are the Russia, the period, and the England, Wessex, and a lot of things, and the France. Then we had also another route as Mediterranean, which will be the point we're gonna kick off. The Mediterranean Sea and the adventure beyond head, and kind of probably using the Vitser, or to be there and revival the things, and kind of have how the Roman Empire brief got raised and falls down, and have from, for instance, the Lusitania, which starts to have the piece of the Ibero, piece of Europe, that's Portugal, Spain, the Italy, and we have at this period, now we are talking 120 up to 100, 1,200 up to 1,500. And this period here, we had the trade the routes. We for sure have the internal commercial activity on Europe, and also the laws of the commerce and the very beginning of the economy principles, and also the monetary and the monetarism on Europe, with the idea as the salary and the quantification of things as the salt. And in the same way, this kind of thing allowing to do the storage of things, to face the winter and the hard time, and having from this point the common interest of the entire Europe that goes on present time as survive, and the centers of power as feudalism, from the storage they have with the scout agents coming and going all around, doing the trade activity, but with a different sense as monetary value or quantification, until you have structured from these domestic internal roots of Europe the bank system. The bank system indeed is kind of that she allowed to do the financial supply of the ultramarine expansions that was made in general by Portugal. And in 3 seasons we can end this episode as a repeat of the history of as Europe up to this point, having the start on 2200, observing the event on 2100, 2015 on UK, an underdeveloped person with a motorcycle, you know. And then when you have the Magna Chart as the very first attempt to put limits at the absolute power, and of course that from this point when you end the 3 seasons, we can move to the constitutionalism, to the low Middle Age and High Middle Age, which was the High Middle Age, if I know no wrong, was the last period when you had kind of the problem and the struggle between inside the Catholic creed, with a division inside, and having the Protestantism, and the movement that made people be departed from England to United States and also Australia, and have told this part as the 3 more seasons. If you consider the first the 3 first seasons from Magna Charta up to the ultramarine expansion, having the formation and the consolidation of the bank system on Europe. The next 3 seasons and having the movement on Europe, observing the faith, the institutional power, how God formed, the idea as limits of the absolute power, and also having the people expelled from Europe to the United States and to Australia, and having kind of a teasing about them and their own history. They can talk. What do you think? Is it something at least? Okay, have a great night. It's a purpose, for instance, an idea. Have a great night. But the main point here is that the criminal association has no excuse at the institutional system. From this point, you have the conviction of all, condemning the acts, and have the punishment until the limits validated. Have a great night.